Good morning. 5D here. Once again. Back this time with, you might have gathered by now, my favourite band is Radiohead. And I did a whole podcast dedicated to them, obviously. But I played the less melancholic, the more, accessible, the more optimistic, I might say, tracks on that one, because that's mostly what I listen to now, having got a bit older since my youth. Well, obviously. But anyway, you might have gathered that. So this time we have episode 33 of Deep Feed, not suitable for the radio, in brackets, head. The reason being, that title is I'm going to play you Radiohead tunes that I don't know if they get on the radio ever or not. It's not the point. I'm just sort of trying to say it's not pop. It's moody. It's the moody ones, the aggy ones, the dark ones. Because I thought to not play those would be to not have a whole rounded sort of look at my favourite artist, band. I won't say artists, that's not true. Band, as in, guitars and bass guitars and drums. And singing man, Tom York, with his sublime voice. Anyway, let's just best get on with it. The first track I'm going to play you is, coincidentally, the first track on Hail to the Thief, which was a classic album. Came out after quite a pause, I think, of not a lot else having happened for a while. And sort of also marked a return to a less, electronic sort of vibe, because they'd gone from mega stardom, as everyone says, of OK Computer, to just being like, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to make a crazy electronical, take away the guitars mostly, maybe a bit of acoustic, but and then after another album too, then they came back with Hail to the Thief, which was a bit like, we're doing rock again, woo, sort of more sort of standard type rock. Anyway, the track is 2 + 2 = 5, which I used to wonder about the meaning of. Obviously 2 + 2 = 5 is an example psychology of psychotic thinking, so obviously I'm guessing that probably has something to do with the meaning of the tune. I'll just let the lyrics and the tune speak for itself now, as I have babbled for however long. Here it is, Radiohead, 2 + 2 = 5.
Such a dreamer to put the world to rights. I stay home forever, but 2 and 2 always makes a 5. Tracks, sandbag and hide. January has April showers, and 2 and 2 always makes a 5. It's the devil's way now.
That was 2 + 2 = 5 there. Radiohead, kicking butt. Next up, we have possibly one of their most famous tunes, one of their best tunes, Paranoid Android. I remember when I like to direct people to music videos. That's something I do on this podcast, especially impressive music videos. Go and see it. It's amazing. Go to YouTube, check it out. We have animation, we have cleverness, we have symbolism, meaning, the deep meanings, and good little story as well. It's all there. But this is just the track without the video. Paranoid Android, what a track. I mean, it changes, it's anthemic. I don't know if that's a word, I think it is. But it sort of goes all over the place. So many bits of, good little lyrical chunks, the whole vibe of the whole thing. And then at the end, it sort of goes all sad for a bit, or sort of happy or sad, happy, sad, for long, and then comes back. As you can see, I'm quite excited. I'm just having a sip of tea there. While this track, the guitar is also awesome. And let it run. I'll be back in a sec. This is Paranoid Android. Back again. If you can hear it, I apologise for the creaky chair sounds and the frankly questionable audio quality of the last few podcasts. The reason that's happened is because I don't have my computer right now. I'm between computers. Long, boring story, but to cut a long story short, my sound card with all my microphones plugged into it doesn't work with my little mini laptop. It only works with Thunderbolt, which I have in my new computer that's coming, but hasn't come, has been delayed. Sad me. But apparently it's being built right now, so I'm a happy person again. Do miss my computer, having a desktop, beastie one. Anyway, yeah, that was Paranoid Android. Hard tune, hard. Now we move on to a hard but more subtle sounding tune, otherwise known as The Butcher. He chops meat on the block, and I've just forgot the extra bit of lyrics, which I was going to try and quote there. Chop liver on the block, and I don't remember what else I do. Yeah, it's more subtle, this one, but it's equally moody, and it's got some great little noise at the end that comes in just like as a lead. It's just moody, as it should be. But I'll let that run. The Butcher, here we go. Also, it's got great drums, very weird but cool drums. Here we go. Yes, next up we have, do you know it? Walk into the jaws of hell. Yeah, it's the lyric in Sit Down, Stand Up, which is up next. Possibly one of my favourite tracks musically of all these ones I'm going to play now. One of them, not the most favourite one. It's very hard to choose, but it's got the piano-ness, it's got the weirdness of the drums, it's got the structure and all that stuff. And yeah, of course, at the end there's this bit that always confused me when I first heard it. Is I bet neither of these two things are right, but it sounds like he's going, "And we're really on drugs, and we're really on drugs," or "And we're alien jubs, and we're alien jubs." Don't ask me what a jub is. But you know when you mishear tunes, and and to be fair, I'm pretty sure I have looked it up on the lyrical website of Radiohead, and I learnt the actual lyric because I was confused. I was like, which one is it? Are they really on drugs? Are they alien jubs? Whatever that means. And yeah, I think I obviously never decided or found out and thought, oh, I want to hear that. Anyway, that was how I used to hear it. It's weird, but it's a great ending. It's got the energy, this track, it builds and it just builds subtly, and then it comes in energy, NRG, sit down, stand up, whatever that's about. I don't know, I guess one of those times, for me personally, it could be one of those times where you're a bit out of it maybe, and you can't decide whether you want to sit down or stand up, which is a thing that has happened to me before. Don't know if that's happened to you, but certainly it's happened to me. And that was the track. I mean, that's not was the track, this will be the track now. Here we go.
Sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. Stand
Yeah, sit down, stand up there. Next up, we have The Amazing Sounds of Orgy, which, contrary to the title, hasn't sampled sex or really talking about it at all. But it is a great track. This one's got the atmospherics, the moodiness. It's got this bass. It's like woo, 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 woo. It's like drum and bass, or dubsteppy bass. And it's great. And then it's got all the moody little noises, sort of super atmospheric. Yeah, he's talking about when banks collapse and stuff, all very moody, apocalyptic scenarios of the future, I guess. There. The amazing sound of the killing hordes. Happy stuff, happy. The day the banks collapse. That's how it goes, you see. Or collapsed. That's the weird thing. It sounds to me like he's using the past. Like it's like this is something that happened. I don't remember that happening. And he's not, not in my arena of the world. Which is simultaneously where Tom York lives, roughly. I mean, it's in like sort of England, around the sort of southish sort of areas. Right, anyway, up next, this is the track, The Amazing Sounds of Orgy. Mood on, Tom and team, mood on. was the amazing sounds of orgy. Not sampling an orgy, probably for the benefit of the musical appreciation. Although, you know, I've heard tracks with sex sounds in them. Of course, French Kiss being that famous one with the woman basically orgasming in it. Oh, excuse me. It's early. Cups of tea coming back up in burp form. Anyway, next on to Little by Little. Do 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 do. Yeah, this is maybe ironically minimal sort of sound. This tune in like complexness. It's fairly simple. It's a bit acoustic. It's got its mood, obviously, to be fitting into this podcast, but yeah, it's just a nice tune that's not got like specific. I don't know how to explain. What can I say? But let's play it now, little by little. Do 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 do, etc. Here we go. So now we move on to a classical mood one. This was from OK Computer and it's called Exit Music, in brackets, for a film. And it's perfectly named that because the story is like a little movie in itself. It sounds like, I think they're running away from some nasty abusive person, it sounds like. It's going on, and they hope that the abusive person chokes. They hope that his rules and authority choke him, which is something I sometimes feel like, especially when people force authority upon you. You might get that feeling too. It's one of the things that draws people to Radiohead sometimes. That sort of, honest, truth-telling, guttural sort of, feelings about nasty things. I think, personally, for me, part of it, not entirely, obviously, there's much beauty to be had, much release, but also there is catharsis, I might say. So this is Exit Music for a film, and it's also got the best, when it drops, the best sort of, I don't know, it's weird, I'm not sure if it's a guitar effect or a synth, but it's great, and here it is.
Wake from your sleep, the drying of your tears. Today we escape, we escape. Pack and get dressed before your father hears us, before all hell breaks loose. Sing us a song to keep us warm. There's such a chill, such a chill. Yeah. choke, that you choke. We hope that you choke, that you choke.
So finally we come to possibly the most classic, possibly the most famous and amazing tune ever. It's one of those ones that I've heard so many times. Sometimes when it comes on my playlist, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it right now. You know, I've heard it a trillion times, but it is incredible. That would be Karma Police. The lyrics, completely on point. The tune, completely on point. The music video, completely on point. Like, go check out the music video for Karma Police if you've never seen it. It's amazing. And the littlest touch is, I believe, Nigel Godrich. I mean, I know he produced the whole album. I don't know who did the effects at the end. Whether it's Nigel Godrich and Johnny Greenwood and Tom York or anyone else who does specifically the effects or the synthesis sort of end of the spectrum. But at the end, there's a sort of a distortion noise that starts like higher up in inverted commas, and then kind of descends down into like, it sounds like the microphone is in a fire. And I, to this day, well, I don't know, I probably could find out on the internet, but I haven't, whether they actually recorded the microphone in a fire as it sounds and sort of blended it with the falling effect modulation, or whether the effect itself modulating just at the end of its modulation sounds like a microphone in a fire. Who knows, but it's perfectly awesome sound. And it went great with music video, which you'll have to see to understand what I mean. Karma Police here. Just a great concept too, the name. Track of legendary status.
This is what you'll get when you mess with us. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. For a minute, I lost myself.
Up next, Where I End and You Begin. I love the lyric in this. I'm up in the sky, I'm up in the sky, and I can't come down. Great bit of lyricalness. Then there's the ultra moody I Will Eat You Alive at the end, which is pretty fairly moody. So Tom there getting into some serious mood. And yeah, he does that, doesn't he? When he wants to, he really pulls out the ultra moodiness, which is, it's great because it's sort of almost juxtaposition with his voice, because his voice can be so angelic. Well, I think it grates some people out there. If it's you who it grates, I'm sure you haven't got this far into the podcast anyway, so you're not listening. But yeah, I'll let the track play now. Where I End and You Begin. It's a great one.
kept you alive.
Yeah, when the walls spin, or when the walls breathe, when you're breathing, when they're breathing, when the walls spin. I think is what he's trying to say in this upcoming The Gloaming. Also, answers on envelope. What is The Gloaming? It's probably explained in this tune, but it's quite hard to understand. Maybe I'll go have a look at it. Do you know what? I'm going to go look at some lyrics in a minute. On the, I think you can go to greenplasticradiohead.com, something like that. Search for Green Plastic Radiohead. All their lyrics are written out there. Correctly too, I believe. So you can see what the hell they've been saying if you can't quite hear. This is a great track. It's got such a weird electronical vibe to it as well. The gloaming. I'll let it gloam into your ears right now, and we'll be back in a bit. This is it. Yo. So now we have Climbing Up the Walls, one of my favourite tracks ever of Radiohead. I know I said that a couple of times, but can't just choose just one. Apparently about schizophrenia, this one. Shutting the eyes in the cupboard, etc. What a great line. Also, towards the end of the track, he does a primal scream, which I remember just hearing it, and it cuts through you and it just gets to a part of your soul. And also whenever I hear it, and it doesn't stop, it hasn't sort of failed to surprise me when I hear it. I'm like, how the heck did someone record that? Like, it doesn't sound like you could just do it on demand. Like, it sounds like it's a genuinely primal scream. I mean, he must have been in the mood when the track was made. Or at least his incredible vocal talent. Funny enough, screaming is not what people imagine to be incredible vocal talent. If you don't know it, hear it at the end of this track, and don't tell me that will got your soul in one way or another. This will be Climbing the Walls. From OK Computer. So, for a minute I was considering, this track now, Street Spirit, Fade Out, again, ultra classic. As it's called Fade Out, maybe I should end on it, but I've got a few more that I want to play, and I'm gonna play them. So this is another one, check out the video. Yeah, it's one of the earlier ones. This was before they were they were famous, but they weren't ultra mega huge at this point. They were still sort of, big, don't get me wrong. But at least this is the history of stuff to do with Radiohead that I see on YouTube. A lot of people do their little videos about Radiohead, don't they? And here I am doing podcasts, similar things, without me sat there talking visually. So yeah, great. They actually, interesting factoid in the video as well. It was a long time ago now. I think it was in the 90s this came out, late 90s. So they didn't have a lot of CGI going on, like computer rendering and stuff. A lot of it wasn't 3D. It was compositing, clever compositing. Which, in case you're wondering what compositing is specifically, it's when you get 2D layers, like different bits of film that you've just shot, and blend them in different ways, rather than making something, from the computer, like, rendering it out, like something completely that's inside the computer. Compositing is blending stuff that's been filmed already, or stuff that's rendered as well, but technically, compositing is blending 2D elements. I suppose it doesn't matter if it's rendered or filmed. I was wrong there originally. But anyway, Street Spirit, Fade Out, and also the melody, seminal shit, if I do say so myself. Amazing stuff. This is it. I'm gonna let it flow into your ears now. Here we go.
Rows of houses all bearing down on me. I can feel the hands touching me. All these things into position. All these things are one day swallow whole.
yeah, that was great. Next up, we're getting near the end. There's 3 tracks to go. This one, I don't have a lot to say about it. I love it. Definitely belongs on this list. Great tune. Don't really know what to say, so I'm not gonna like make up filler. I'm just gonna skip into the tune. I might be wrong. Here we go. That's not what I might be wrong, but that's what the tune's called. Here we go. Everyone around here's got the fear. Everyone around here is so near. I believe that's the lyric that's coming for the national anthem. Weird comment, sort of bizarre comment there, but possibly true. Some ways subtle on the state of national psychology, maybe? I don't know. It's an interesting one. The national anthem, the thing I love about this tune, specifically, it's got some weird reverby on his voice, trippy effect on his voice. It sounds like there's another hymn synth singing under him. And then the best bit though is at the end, they just go mad with the jazz, trumpets and brass sections. It just goes ultra trippy, brass music. You know what I mean? Brass horns and trumpets and saxophones and everything. Yeah, this is the penultimate tune, the national anthem. And then, we'll be back in 1 sec for the last selection of the day. So that was Radiohead, moodier stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. From start to finish, I love those tracks. I don't listen to them loads because they can be quite moody, but I do love them. Now, everything being well, I should be back next week for ID Chill, featuring Other Self. That'll be my cousin in America who makes music as well. And it's all about chilled IDM. If you're interested, come back for that. Should be happening next week. I'm not promising anything because, who knows, this computer might get delayed more. And I can't record him, definitely, without the setup, because I have to plug my phone into the setup to get him from America, because he's not flying over. But yeah, that was all Radiohead stuff, and we're finishing with Idiotech, which I don't really know what to say about it, apart from it's a great track, very electronical. It's got trippy drum patterns and electronical drums, which is something that they started doing. My friend, shout out to my friend Bear, who great musician, we were talking about Radiohead, and he was saying, they sort of made the drum machines their friend. Drum machines are not really a bad thing, and they're not if they're programmed correctly. Drummers too, great, don't get me wrong, but drum machines can be quite interesting because you get different sound textures, don't you? Timbres and stuff like that. Anyway, this will be Idiotech. That will have been me chatting about Radiohead for however long. Hope you enjoyed it, and come back next week if you like. Peace out. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Thank